On our channel, we talk a lot about Stoicism. So today I want to suggest another video featuring 6 Stoic exercises that you can start practicing immediately after watching. These practices are simple steps that you can incorporate into your everyday life right now, and that have the potential to change your life. When we focus our actions, they become purposeful. Stoicism teaches us to develop a clear vision that enables us to make the best choices. Stoic philosophy prepares us for life, and when we learn to trust our ability to solve problems, inaction and indecision cease to be obstacles. If you're new to the channel, please help us spread this direction to more people who may need it. It's very simple. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts on the exercises in the comments, or tell us how Stoicism has changed your daily life. Now let's move on to the first exercise. The first exercise is to reframe small disappointments. The essence of this exercise is to see our daily minor problems as mosquito bites. A single bite may be just a slight inconvenience, but imagine dozens of them directed at you. This can harm your health. The same goes for our daily routine. Sometimes we don't encounter serious problems and catastrophes, but every day we face a series of minor problems that can create a significant emotional burden, leading us to feel melancholy and dissatisfaction. Stoic philosophers urge us to reframe these minor daily irritations, giving them new life and purpose. The idea is to adopt a fresh perspective on everyday problems, acknowledging that while these feelings are valid, they can be reassessed so they don't become overwhelming burdens. This viewpoint helps us understand that in many cases, the obstacles before us are far smaller compared to the significant challenges humanity has faced over time. For a long time, people lived without the conveniences and comforts we have today. A 5-minute wait or a ride-share driver canceling our trip while we're in the middle of an interview or an important meeting is quite frustrating and disappointing. But if we were to just think back to a time when such simple journeys took hours or even days, requiring much more time and effort, the delay in responding to a message might irritate or cause concern, and communication could take days or even weeks, and people adapted their expectations accordingly without perishing for it. This means that many of the things that annoy us now are actually luxuries of modernity. So the exercise here is not to deny our reactions or emotions in the face of setbacks, but to learn to see them in a different light. It's an invitation to manage these small disappointments so they don't overwhelm us. As Seneca said, sometimes even life itself is an act of courage. He wanted us to understand that the difficult things we go through are part of a life full of experience and learning. Embracing disappointments as a normal part of our daily lives helps us see life more fully, understanding that both good and bad experiences contribute to our growth. Seneca teaches us to view life as if it were a grand painting, where every challenging moment is a color that helps paint a richer and more interesting story. He tells us that we should not only focus on the difficulties but also understand that they are part of a greater journey full of lessons and achievements. Through trials and tribulations, we not only endure but also grow alongside them, making our lives richer and more meaningful. In Stoic philosophy, virtues such as courage, moderation, justice, and wisdom are considered the most important values. Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor of Rome and a Stoic philosopher, said that if someone revealed something more divine than virtue itself, it would truly be extraordinary. Stoics believe that every challenge we face is an opportunity to practice these virtues. Our second exercise is based on integrating these Stoic values into our daily lives, paying particular attention to practicing one virtue intensively each week. Start by choosing a virtue and practice it diligently throughout the week. For example, during a week of courage, begin with simple acts that embody courage, such as getting up early for exercise or treating yourself to a special breakfast. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Sometimes simply treating yourself to what you already have, whether it's coffee, physical activity, or self-care, is an act of great courage in our lives. Another deeper aspect is resolving conflicts. Reflect on a situation with a friend, family member, or colleague where there might be disagreement or misunderstanding. Instead of letting the pain fester or avoiding the issue, summon the courage to engage in a peaceful conversation. Explain how you perceive the situation, express openness to understanding and rectifying what went wrong. This step can not only help resolve misunderstandings, but also strengthen your relationships, whether in friendship, work environments, or family ties. Each of your daily actions can reinforce your practice of courage. By doing so, you are perfecting it and transitioning to the next week dedicated to another virtue, such as kindness, justice, or wisdom. For instance, returning excess change at the market demonstrates your honesty in small matters. Acknowledging and giving credit to colleagues for their contributions to joint projects at work exemplifies justice, while dedicating time to read or learn something new that enriches your life or career reflects wisdom. By starting to practice your continuous learning, for example, during a week of abstention, you can begin to practice mindful consumption, which entails thoughtful consideration before making any purchases, preferring to buy only what you truly need or have already planned to acquire rather than making several impulsive purchases that may compromise your finances. For instance, if you find a pair of sneakers you really like while at the mall, instead of buying them on the spot, take a minute to think about whether you really need that pair of sneakers or, more importantly, if this purchase fits your budget. This pause for thought helps avoid impulsive purchases that can spoil your finances and lead to having too many unnecessary items at home. The practice of mindful consumption helps you save money and live a simpler and more sustainable life. You can also work on abstaining to better manage your time by setting clear boundaries between work and leisure, thereby ensuring quality time for relaxation each week. Gradually, you are working on your personal development by focusing on one of the 4 virtues and applying these core values. The 4 Stoic virtues of courage, moderation, justice, and wisdom, akin to guidelines for living a good life. Courage extends beyond physical bravery. It encompasses having the strength to tackle problems head-on, showing integrity in everyday actions, acknowledging the contributions of others, making wise choices, and maintaining balance in life. Moderation means the ability to control oneself, not to overindulge in anything, be it food, work, financial matters, or entertainment. Justice entails treating everyone fairly and rightly, being honest and kind towards others. Wisdom is the sound judgment and insight that helps us make rational decisions. Together, these virtues help us navigate life's challenges in a virtuous and balanced manner, fostering personal growth and the common good. Share in the comments which of the 4 Stoic virtues you've decided to focus on this week and why. Your courage might inspire someone else to start as well. The 3rd daily review advises us to find a quiet place and spend a few minutes reflecting on our day, noting what we did wrong, what we did right, and what we could do differently. This technique, widely recognized and recommended by professionals in the field of personal development and psychology, is based on a simple yet powerful principle. It originated in the innovative ideas of St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Society of Jesus in the 15th century, who proposed a practice called the daily examen. This practice is not just a method but an invitation to a daily journey of self-awareness and growth. By reflecting on our actions and emotions each day, we have a unique opportunity to deepen our connection with ourselves. These 3 points serve as a daily exploration where we can better understand ourselves, identify what triggers anger, fear, or anxiety within us, and realize how we evolve. In developing our virtues and character, let's delve into these 3 points in detail. Until we acknowledge that a problem exists, seeking its solution is impossible. So the first step in this exercise is to acknowledge our mistakes. Sometimes we deny our mistakes because we fall into the error of defining ourselves by our possessions or external attributes, rather than truly understanding that our value comes from our character, who we really are. Making a wrong move doesn't mean we're bad people. It simply means we've momentarily deviated from virtue. However, by recognizing our wrong action, we gain power over it, enabling us to act rightly next time. Even broken clocks are correct twice a day. The Stoics believed that ignorance was the greatest cause of mistakes because people didn't know they were acting wrongly. Today, we have an abundance of knowledge, yet knowing alone isn't enough to act rightly. We need to develop moral strength to put into practice what we know. By noting what we did right and reinforcing positive behavior, we learn to trust our abilities, feeling more secure in reproducing these positive patterns. It's simple but has a profound impact on our mental development, self-confidence, and reliance on virtue and kindness to act positively daily. Considering what we could have done differently, imagine someone answering rudely when handed a handful of rocks in a simple situation. They gratuitously displayed rudeness. Adopting this technique is a step towards a fuller, more conscious life where each day is seen as an opportunity to learn, grow, and transform. Epictetus reminds us that we don't just react in isolation. Every action feeds our habit of thinking about what we can do differently. It's about reflecting on our simple daily actions, which unconsciously nurture the habits and inclinations of our lives. For instance, today I spent nearly an hour reading random internet comments. Could I have used that time for relaxation in a less wasteful way? Could you have done it differently? If we don't dedicate ourselves to self-assessment, we'll miss the chance to grow and realize how much we've already developed in our journeys. This exercise is simple, and for it, you can use your mobile notepad. Begin once a week with answering these 3 questions for yourself. How did your week go? What did you do wrong? What did you do right? And what could you have done differently? Recognize your internal tools. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, teaches us that in the face of life's obstacles, we can find ways to grow. If someone offends us, we can see it as an opportunity to develop patience in the face of suffering. We have the chance to discover our resistance when confronted with temptations. We can demonstrate self-control and discipline. This exercise offers us valuable practice. Before facing any problem, we must remember what our internal resources are. If we understand that we lack a particular skill to handle a situation, it's the perfect time to develop and improve it. As we persist and practice, we gradually master the virtues necessary to overcome any adversity, turning each obstacle into a valuable lesson for our personal development. When we encounter challenges or problems, we tend to focus solely on the problem, which can temporarily make us forget about the skills we are building or similar situations we have already overcome. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it may flow forever if you will dig forever." This inspiring quote from Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's most memorable emperors and a philosopher devoted to Stoicism, urges us to seek goodness within ourselves. It reminds us that the true source of good is not in the external world, but inside each of us. It encourages us to continually delve within, showing that with steadfast dedication to this exploration, we can find an inexhaustible flow of goodness. This indicates that the secret to a full and virtuous life lies in our ability to look within ourselves in the continuous process of personal discovery and transformation. By developing and cherishing our internal reservoir of goodness, we make room for enriched and authentic existence. The next time you encounter music, a situation, such as when you're on a diet, train your self-control by refusing that extra soda or sweets. This exercise will help you cultivate self-discipline. When you experience laziness or lack of desire to work, teach someone or share information at work. Practice generosity by doing so without humiliation or disrespect. We have the opportunity to become better when we acknowledge our internal tools. The 5th piece of advice: use your inner strength. Epictetus, one of the greatest teachers of Stoicism, teaches us the value of carefully choosing what we invest in our consciousness. If we don't choose carefully, someone else will do it for us. Let's be honest, this choice won't always reflect our interests. When we realize what truly matters to us, it becomes easier to take control of our lives. Our actions begin to reflect our true priorities, and we live more authentically in line with our beliefs. On the other hand, if we don't make this choice, we open the door to others who will decide for us. Unaware of this, we may ultimately live a life determined by others' desires and expectations rather than our own. So the lesson here is clear: to live a life that truly belongs to us, we must control our choices, starting with defining our true priorities and ensuring that our actions align with these priorities. Utilize the dynamic "I want" and "I can" to establish your priorities and steps towards achieving this goal. For example, setting your priority as "I want to lose 5 pounds" establishes your action. Can I eat smaller portions for lunch and exercise 3 times a week? The same applies to other areas of your life. For instance, wanting a promotion at work and being able to dedicate more time to a project, improve professional qualifications, and expand your network in case of new opportunities. By setting your priorities and corresponding actions, we become true captains, taking the first step towards a life lived with greater purpose, passion, and joy. We can only bring our lives into order when we start acting, as Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations. Stop talking about what a good man is and be one. The sixth step is to determine what truly matters each day. As our final union, let's discuss a simple practice. Imagine if at the end of each day, you made a list of everything you did and asked yourself, would I have done this if today were the last day of my life? This simple exercise has the power to completely transform your life. By asking yourself this question, you begin to look at your daily commitments, identifying what truly matters. This questioning process acts as a filter, helping to highlight what is genuinely relevant. By encouraging choices of actions and experiences that fulfill and enrich us, suddenly those hours spent on meaningless tasks or procrastinating on social media may seem less appealing and favorable. Conversely, moments with friends, family, self-care, or that hobby you've always postponed gain new significance. This isn't just an exercise in thinking, it's an invitation to live more authentically and meaningfully. By choosing each day as if it were our last, we begin to do more of what we love, what makes us feel alive and connected to what truly matters. This exercise not only increases awareness of how we spend our time, but also prompts reflection on our life decisions and priorities. Stoics called this exercise memento mori, where every day they acknowledge that life is not eternal and envision an ideal way of living. The idea of memento mori is to urge us to live each moment with greater meaning and purpose, recognizing that our time here is limited. This awareness helps prioritize what truly reflects our deepest values, rather than getting lost in trivialities or procrastination. Remembering our mortality inspires us to make each day an authentic expression of our essence and to cherish every moment. Each of these exercises represents a powerful form of gratitude. Leave a comment sharing which topics you're curious to learn about from a Stoic perspective to inform our next video. Thank you for watching.